Hey people, pleasure to be here today. We've got the very special event, the preview of the Wallpack. And the Wallpack is the project that is the culmination of the last 1,500 hours over the last 2 months spent backporting everything from Wrath of the Lich King and TBC into vanilla World of Warcraft. Everything is running beautifully. We're going to go ahead and check out the entire world map with these fine people here. Let me get the sound muted. Of course, all the music is in place, but I'm going to turn that off for the stream here. At least I'll turn it down with low music. I should turn on master sound at least. Currently we're in Caverns, standing at the Prince Malchezaar location. I'm going to port everyone up here. Just make sure we got everybody. He might have gotten disconnected. Probably from the GM telly. I think he's using the camera client. That's probably why. That's fine. So our plan right now is to go and check out some of the stuff. I just want to make sure the stream is running fine. I'm going to go ahead and chill it out a little bit. Get this muted. Alright, everything's running fine. As for the YouTube chat, I'll try and read comments when I see them come, but we're just going to be getting video footage for the beta launch trailer. And I'll make sure the camera guy is here, though he may have logged off. Okay, he's off on there. Alright, that's fine then. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the other maps, obviously. Just catch my bearings here. Oh, I need to check Caverns of Time real quick. I can't remember if I fixed that. Okay, good, I did. And make sure I've got Red Ridge fixed. Beautiful. As you can see, the bridge that Ever Jr. did, finally after 20 years, the Red Ridge Everstill bridge is repaired. This is part of Wallcraft, where the bridge starts out still in disrepair, and then players can slowly repair it over time if they want to make that one of their objectives for their guild. Sorry if my volume might be a little bit quiet right now too. My microphone is absolute crap. I broke my headset, and it's $5 headset, so whatever. As long as you can see it. Alright, let's take a look at some of the new maps, some of the new locations. We're actually going to go to Caverns of Time just to run around. Nah, screw it. We'll go to TBC stuff. Battle for Mountain Highjaw. We're going to go down the list, too. We're going to try and hit every zone. Yeah, we'll go Caverns of Time first. Bring everybody there. Waiting for my camera guy though. He's offline. And I can't remember if I fixed mount flags for inside here. Only known issue I've seen so far is in Shadow Moon Valley. The green lava is not green, which I should be able to fix pretty easily. I don't think it'll be able to damage you. In vanilla, I might be able to use Naxxramas slime, but I don't know. It might stay lava and just be what it is. The vanilla client is limited in its liquid types, but TBC client uses like the same liquid types, so couldn't maybe imagine it's using anything besides Naxxramas slime, and it was just automatically replaced with magma, which I should be able to fix in the ADT. I'll write a script for that. This guy will ping me about every floating bush he finds. And it's nice and all, but portals on a WMO are not priority right now. Nor will it probably ever be fixed. This is a vanilla asset. So I don't plan on going through and chopping this up and spending 8 hours in Blender assigning portals to each of these walls. I don't think anybody's ever noticed. Some people, though, they are bug hunters through and through, and anything that they see, they'll assume it's a bug. I've stressed this enough, though. I've spent 1,500 hours over the past 2 months. I have 500 hours probably left to go. I'm very aware of everything that's not correct. So unless your client is crashing or your computer's set on fire, don't worry too much about it. Still getting everything sorted here. Alright. Checking out some of the caverns at time, but obviously, like I said, this is the original vanilla map. The door was removed. I did that in Blender. I didn't have export issues, so hopefully I can get some more edits done for Alpha Ironforge. Some of these portals are assigned. I don't know which ones are, I can't remember. Old Hillsbrad map should still be there. I had to chop it up because it splits in TBC. But obviously the vanilla version is still there. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So for the plan for Caverns of Time, though, on Wallcraft, all of these portals are going to be related to Medivh. You'll have, obviously, the Black Morass. You'll have Old Hillsbrad. Oh yeah, okay, cool, he's back online. You'll have Old Hillsbrad, you'll have Black Morass. Seeing Kara. Yeah, so you'll, for the 3 portals in Caverns of Time, you'll have the Black Morass, you'll have Old Hillsbrad, and you'll have Alpha Karazhan. And for Black Morass and Old Hillsbrad, they're not the TBC versions. They're all related to Medivh. For Black Morass, it's the Dark Portal closing event, where Khadgar and all of them get trapped on the other side. Old Hillsbrad's going to be the first Battle of Hillsbrad event. And then, obviously, Alpha Karazhan is going to be the slaying of Medivh. So, still working on the Alpha Karazhan map. That'll take some time. Anywho, this is vanilla location currently, so let's go check out some new stuff. And Mount Highjaw, not that exciting because it's basically just Highjaw, but I'm going to preview it real quick. Get everybody over here. So this is just TBC Highjaw. This is the battle for Mount Highjaw. Preview this real quick. It's basically just Highjaw though. Highjaw's cool and all, but it's just the TBC dungeon. The TBC dungeon, obviously, the Wallpack includes all of the maps, the terrains, the assets, the textures, the sounds. All the tables are assigned correctly. So, you know, all your zone ambiance, your texture sounds, material lookups, like all of that stuff is included in the pack. What is not included is basically creature scripting, spells, anything that is requiring use of the database. Someday I'll probably have most of the stuff backported, like fully, but that's not part of the Wallpack. The Wallpack is primarily assets. I have all of the spell assignments added, but obviously the core doesn't support it, so that will be a ton of work. I'd like to backport most of the core functions from Wrath of the Lich King where applicable, so that I have them and have them accessible, especially if I'm creating mobs and stuff for like Northrend or TBC zones. I'd like to have everything working, but that's a lot more work. That's several months of work right there. Players don't really understand. Like, they see, oh, the gate's not here, you don't have that working, and then they report it as a bug. They don't really understand, no, that's not part of the pack. The gate asset exists and it's backported, but that's a game object. That's assigned by the server. Obviously the server doesn't have any of the TBC information yet because that's not part of the pack. The pack is converting everything to vanilla format and preserving the integrity of the world. The only thing that you'll have noticed that changes when you add this pack to your vanilla client patch, the only visible changes are the world map. And that's because the world map includes the Wallcraft world map with Northrend. And if you're using the pack, obviously Northrend and Outlands are accessible. The map textures, all of the clicking areas for the highlights, the point of interests, the area templates, the tables, everything is working perfectly. It's extremely difficult to describe the amount of detail and work, but everything that you see, every detail, has basically a table with 1,000 entries assigned to it that were all converted for vanilla. So everything, in my estimate right now, I'd say it's 98% done. The only things that I have left are database update scripts that can be run on stock vMangos to convert some tables that do need references for the new assets, creature model data, creature display info, bounding sizes, stuff like that. I'm going to have all the scripts so that it overlays it directly without overriding any vanilla data. That way you can literally just spawn mobs and items and stuff like that from these expansions in vMangos vanilla. At the moment, though, no. The map is the big focus, so the map is basically complete. Took 1,500 hours to get here, so that'll come in a later time. This is a TBC dungeon. Yes, there are visible walls. Yes. Trying to answer questions as they come, but I gotta take a look. Let's see. Don't know if it's my end, but image is really pixelated. Great project, by the way. Yeah, it probably is. My settings are probably crap. My streaming is crap. I'm trying to get good video bitrate, but I don't know about that. We can try and up it a little bit higher. Here, let me up the encoding. No, it's my OBS settings are cranked down super low so I can record for Discord because their shitty file size limit. It's like really garbage. I'm watching it on my screen and it looks fine. I know it looks a little pixelated when it's zoomed in. Let me crank it on up and see if it's any better. My bitrate was only set at 2000. I have like the lowest encoding. That should improve it. Yeah. I guess improve is subjective. Let me crank that up a bit. I don't want to end the stream, obviously, so I'll try the higher audio bitrate as well. I'm definitely noticing the hit in FPS now, but the video should be looking a lot better, hopefully. Let me take a look here. Yeah. It looks like crap. Looks better, I guess. Better is subjective. I'm gonna crank up the bitrate even higher. ISP's gonna kill me. Alright, we got 12,000 bitrate. I don't think I can really work with anything higher. I mean, I probably could. I don't even know what the upper limit is. Probably like friggin' 100,000. And I'm just stingy. That's fine though. Anywho, let's move on. Let's go to some different maps. Highjaw is Highjaw, whatever. Until he's shattered. Oop, wrong one. Shattered halls. There we go. Sort out the hooligans. And take a look at Blood Furnace. Got all the visuals, all the animations, particles, sound emitters. Out of every asset that I backported, there's like 70 assets that cause the client to crash. I fixed them using a binary editor, so or hex editor. Looking good though. One of these little oven things, these cause the client to crash when backporting. JM2 converter doesn't handle it correctly. It's the event block, the event chunk. If it has sound emitters, it will not backport correctly, so you have to strip those. So those are the only sound emitters that don't work. We didn't even get to check out any Northrend content before he left, which sucks because this is taking a lot longer than I wanted to. We're just going to zip around the maps. Unfortunately, I set all the dungeons to 5-man. Accurate limit. I should have turned it up before bringing everybody here, but whatever. Just dropping people off into these dungeons, so sorry for people watching the stream, not really showing much besides telling around. I'll fly around the underbog a bit when I go explore. I always love how the underbog looked. That was a really cool place. Hidden waterfall you're not even supposed to fly to. Let's keep heading over. Underbog is underbog. Go to SSC. You can go inside here all. It's great. There we go. Now that's a sight. Right now we're still exploring around, making sure that the client doesn't crash while we go through all these dungeons. and anyone who's watching right now, I don't know if I posted the link in very many places. So if you want to share the link around, get other people to come check this. So I'm going to do a full preview here of all the maps. We'll spend like, 5 minutes or so inside of each map. Again, heads up that I'm wrangling all these people as well, so... Yeah, my plan for Serpent Shrine is to actually just use it as the Naga capital. It's not going to be a raid, it's going to be the capital for Naga players. Keep on traveling here. We're gonna go to a really nice one, really impressive one. Oh, crap. Yeah, they're probably still all locked out. Yeah, rip. Should be instance unbind all. Why that don't work? Yeah, whatever. That means we go to Northrend. Alright, Northrend time. Landing point. Alright, here we have it. We have Northrend. crash. Chime says he's found a crash. I don't know if he's actually found a crash, though. Look at that. Wormrust Temple. Hell yeah, boys. These skyboxes are such a problem. Nugget Red allows you to select them much easier nowadays, but I did them before I even knew that the tool was working correctly now. So, skyboxes have like 6 DBCs that they use, and it's all just strings of numbers. Trying to edit skyboxes, you have to have a literal scientific calculator and convert tons of different stuff and hope it works. A lot of the skyboxes, well, 6 or so skyboxes in total, basically the Aura ones, don't work correctly. So I just replaced them with generic ones. They might look a little off, but it's better than having complete black screen. It drives me nuts when people just don't use the like old school way of screenshotting. People use third-party tools, and I don't know why, because you have it built into your computer. Why do people use third-party tools to screenshot stuff? I can understand like screen grabbers being convenient where you can crop out areas of the screen and tools like that, but not chimes obviously in reference to this, but whenever I see online, I see people taking literal pictures of their screen with their phone. It's just like, why? The only reason you do that is to prove that you didn't edit something. But it is what it is. It's funny though. This area looks so good. It's an absolutely stellar area. Lexerage asked earlier if TBC Highjaw will be replaced. Or Vanilla Highjaw gets replaced with TBC. No. Vanilla Highjaw. The Highjaw we saw earlier in the stream was the TBC dungeon, not like the open world Highjaw. You can go to the open world Highjaw right now. I have to rerun terrain gap fixes on stuff. So the terrain kind of looks a little ugly right now. But I haven't regenerated maps. I want to run them through Zone Masher. Sending me pictures of the world map now. I need the error code from the crash so I can tell what's causing it. And I need to make sure that all of your shaders are enabled. I can't get a crash there. I keep telling you. No. Yep. Look at that. That's a Skybox related crash. Yeah, that's Skybox related. It's unfortunate too. It's this one spot on the map.
When you fire this game up,
that is causing
your
it.
little fucking nuts are gonna start quaking, buddy.
Finally. That's like a Skybox or something. It's super annoying. Honestly, I think it's the stupid Mana Surge platform when it unloads from client memory. Causes a crash. It's not an M2 reference. It is a model, in-game model, but I think it's a Skybox causing it. Got the Wrath Gate. Alright, let's go hit the most beautiful location. Summon everybody. Your music is a little loud, Wall. Yeah, turn it down. Options menu. If you're talking about the sound sample preferences, oh crap, what is there? If you're talking about sound sample preferences, it's just a difference in the vanilla client with TBC. TBC plays sounds quieter. So yeah, I guess I could adjust them, but just turn it down. Chimes literally just sent me a picture of his computer screen he took with a phone of the error code. Okay. Summon everybody here. It's the Northrend Dalaran, same Dalaran, just in Northrend. Has the Skybox for Dalaran because it's in Northrend. In Wallcraft, this will not be in Northrend, it'll just be in Dalaran. Or near Alterac. Sapporo is the one who wrote the script for all of the WMO backporting. This music is loud. He was just telling me the music's loud. I do have to turn mine down though. Yeah, much better. Sapporo was the one who wrote the scripts that convert all the WMOs from Wrath of the Lich King to Vanilla. So when I fully release the pack, definitely have to give him huge credit, and I want everybody to go check out his work. He does really good commission work, and he offered to help me for, free just because it's community pack, so huge credit is owed to Sapporo. Without him or Ad Spartan, none of this would have been possible. Alright, let's get to some Northrend dungeons. I'm gonna go smoke a real quick cigarette, and we're gonna go hit up the Northrend dungeons. We didn't go through all the TBC ones either. We'll go to a few cool places though. Go hit up Eye of the Storm. Oh no, this is flagged as a dungeon. Yeah, I'm gonna reboot the server real quick. Fix the reset delay. This is what I get to listen to all day. back online here and get everybody inside an instance. Oh, yeah, the typing and the bitching in game, I guess. But the sound of repetitive keystrokes. I definitely need to adjust the volume in the templates. The problem, like I said, those later clients, I think Wrath client at least, the volume, like, natively is lower. It might just be sound provider preferences. I want to make sure that nothing is hyper fucked real quick. Alright, yeah, these are all fine. Xanthor Razor says, the tip during the loading screen, P is starting the balls. What were you thinking? Oh, it's true. It's a good tip. It's something you should know. Obviously you didn't know it, so the tip helped. I think that's a problem. Not enough people know that. Alright, out of the next zone. Let's see. The stream link. There we go. Alright. Let's head on to the next map here. Go to... we'll hit some more TBC ones real quick. unit. There we go. Yeah, I need to smoke real quick. I'm gonna let him lead the way. Alright, we back. We back. Continue on with some Botanica. It's so wild. One of the best TBC instances. Like I said, for Wallcraft, most of these places are going to be, you know, functional cities and locations, not particularly dungeons or raids. Depends on the location. Some will be implemented, some will be implemented as, you know, various locations to visit. The TBC backports were easy. TBC is pretty drag and drop. There's a few assets that are messed up that I had to fix, but for the most part, TBC is very clean and simple. It's backporting vanilla, the wrath content that's extremely difficult. Zip along a little bit faster here. Yeah, look at this. On to the next spot. We can tell you to the Mechanar. Mechanar looks really wild. And no elevator. Nice. Looking so good. Peter Cass asks, what's the plan for all the TBC dungeons and raids? Well, currently in Wallcraft Vanilla, all TBC and Wrath of the Lich King maps, dungeons, raids, anywhere pretty much in the world is accessible. Most of them will be integrated into open world locations. A place like the Shadow Labs, for instance, might be the home for, obviously, the cult that's residing here, and you might be able to join them. Might not be implemented as a dungeon. That's still to be determined for the specifics on certain maps and how they'll function, but for the most part, places will be open world content and not instanced. I plan on perhaps having an additional 5 dungeons in TBC zones and 5 dungeons in Wrath zones, with perhaps 1 or 2 raids. I'll implement Ruby Sanctum and Obsidian Sanctum as boss fight raids, probably very similar to how they are later. But again, that's still to be determined. Basically, one-shot bosses like Magtheridon and such will probably be added as boss fights, but for many locations that are like big open world city-type locations like Serpentrine Caverns or Ulduar, or places like Shadow Labs like this, will probably have different function than traditional. Glad you enjoy, man. It was a ton of work. Took a lot of time. Definitely couldn't have gotten here without some help from some really smart people. So, like I said, be sure to check out Sapporo's commission work. Without his work, these locations wouldn't be in. I could have done them by hand, but it would have taken so long that I would have been working for months on it. His scripts really saved the day and helped clutch a lot of the time. Add Spartan for getting Nagadal fixed up in working order to make sure that these maps could be exported properly. These maps are clean maps. So all of this, you can just take the maps from your own client and just throw the patch on and use the maps like natively with no issue. It's all designed to be, the assets are the only thing backported, where the maps are default. So all the buildings, all the locations, all the textures, all sounds, those are all the same as they should be. Yeah, Shadow Labs is badass. We're not gonna go to Sethek or Manitoum's crypts. We're gonna go. Go hit Northrend Arena. Kick everybody from the group. Should be free for all PvP here. Why not be? There it is. Symbols. Some arena fun. And the Northrend, this is the actual Northrend arena as well. This is the TBC arena. This is what the map looks like. Normally the gates are game objects, but there's invisible collision walls there. Alright, re-invited. Alright, on to the next map. Yeah, it's got the TBC fog barrier. I'm coming through. Game is hilarious. The thrall normally would be down here. Yeah, see, they stripped the gate object out and re-added it. That's why it's invisible. See the gap where the door is? It's because that gate object was actually part of the WMO. And they didn't remove the collision boxes. They just removed the object. Oh yeah, they need some food and water. They're suffering. Alright, let's go check out some new locations. Hit Blade's Edge real quick. Oh no. Pre-best paladin versus tier 3 hunter. Oh. Alright. Just another arena map. Let's go on to the next big one. Oh, next big one. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this. Primo map. Combat, I can't port them. Music. Oh, it's so good. Am I missing someone? Gamer. Mini-map ping sound might be broken right now. Can't tell. Oh no, there it is. We raiding Black Temple tonight on Wallcraft-Vanilla, boys. I don't want to expose his info. Uh-oh. I already got an orgy happening. Spent 5 minutes in the harem. Cap515 asks, how will all the new content fit within the existing vanilla tiers? Like I said earlier, for a lot of the TBC and Outland dungeons and raids, they'll be like open world zones and cities. You'll obviously still have a lot of TBC and Wrath content, but most of the locations are basically vanilla era, vanilla lore. So some dungeons like Icecrown Citadel will never be raidable on Wallcraft because, you know, the Lich King is still frozen in the throne. He's not even present at this period of time. For something like Black Temple, it would be a vanilla era. So if you were to go into Black Temple, you would encounter a lot of the demon hunters and Illidan's, you know, harem, you know, his whole crew, and there would be, you know, some boss encounters, but it would be a lot more flavorful in terms of being more so a city and a world location than anything. As I said, to a lot of the one-shot bosses like Vault of Archivon, Ruby Sanctum, Obsidian Sanctum, Magtherodon, one-shot bosses will probably be implemented as is if they're appropriate for the period of time. Places like Black Temple that are essentially cities or bigger than cities, they'll have a lot more elements to them. Think about it like Gnomeregan, how it kind of has like a city element to it. Same with Blackrock Depths. Those type of things will be more so prominent than even PvE content within these locations. You'll still have obviously fights and stuff, and encounters. A lot of the dungeons too are exclusively, you know, typical traditional dungeon style. Karazhan, of course, being a raid. In terms of how does the content fit in within existing tiers, it moves progressively, obviously, and the difficulty extends quite a ways beyond, you know, Nax Rammus there. In terms of itemization and gearing, it fits within the vanilla framework. So, in essence, all of TBC is considered Tier 4 content, and all of Northrend is considered Tier 5 content, but there's a lot of, you know, layers to those tiers as well. In terms of like how much stamina will my Wrath of the Lich King, I should say not even Wrath of the Lich King, how much stamina would a Northrend dungeon plate body have versus like Nax Rammus gear? Like Northrend dungeon gear will be about on par with like AQ gear, but the difficulty obviously is post Nax Rammus, so don't be expecting to clear it until you've done, you know, at least some Nax, or at least gotten that equivalent types of gear. Like TBC, a TBC dungeon will yield gear about on tier with like BWL, Molten Core gear. But obviously they'll require, you know, you to have about that equivalent tier. Northrend raids, you know, you can be expecting like about double stat value for end Northrend content, but Northrend isn't even the end game either. That's something to also note. The Maelstrom is, and the Uncharted Seas. So, in terms of talking about this, it's a lot more difficult because Wallcraft is a sandbox. It's not a linear experience of, oh, on to the next tier. It's more so, oh, we managed to secure Black Temple tonight, so that's where we're raiding, type thing. And progression is not linear on Wallcraft, nearly as much so in traditional World of Warcraft. Alright, quick smoke break, be right back. Alright, we're almost at the entrance of Black Temple, so let's hit up the next location here. Nobody's showed up. Oh yeah, 27 GM mode. Okay, next one. I wanted to go through each and every map. We'll try and squeeze all of them in. I'm skipping a few though, like Sethic Halls and stuff. That's super interesting. This place is so cool. And of course I've got the working maps. So we're gonna go to the Rift. Yeah, like for example, the Nexus at this place, you'll probably have a few packs of trash, maybe 1 or 2 bosses, and then some NPCs that you can speak with for a quest. So it'll be like a vanilla flavor of any type of Wrath dungeon that you would find. Some of them will be more true to their original form, like the TBC version of Karazhan, because there's basically 2 versions of Kara in Wallcraft. The TBC version of Karazhan will be scripted to be like TBC Kara. Tuned for a 20-man vanilla raid. This just looks so good. It's a real sight to behold. I love the interior, how everything's got that white, luminescent glow. These trees have collision on the leaves. I think they're probably supposed to. I don't know if they're supposed to have bounding boxes on them. We did find a crash there. Here. The pipe in Black Temple, Karabor Sewers, probably is a bad asset. Have to take a look at that. Add these to my notes. Black Temple. Alright, on to the next one. This one we will not be able to easily navigate, that's for certain. A lot of people have been asking, Wall, the TBC and Outland and Northrend zones have flying in mind. How are we going to get around? Well, that's the fun of it. There will be methods to get up to places like this. You know, there'll probably be like a flight path connecting it or some way, but there's going to be a lot of places, especially like Ulduar, where you're basically going to be cliff jumping to try and get to these locations. I won't make it impossibly difficult, but a good example for the Oculus, here is on the outer rim, not in the dungeon, but like in the world map. There's all those floating platforms that just sit stationary like this. I'm going to change all of these to be transports, and they'll be floating around in concentric patterns around the place. And basically you're going to have to platform your way on like a series of 20 different floating platforms, and it's going to be kind of like a platforming puzzle to actually reach these zones. Should be pretty difficult and challenging. Crowd favorite here. One of the most beautiful locations. Smoke break while we do some touring. Yeah, some of the materials have detail flags that I need to remove. There's like one big object, I don't even know what it is. It's like wrapping around the one part of the building. It's like almost not noticeable though, until you look at it. Wirt asks, will corpse wagons be a mount or anything of the sort? I have plans for something like that, but it'd basically be the same as a mount. Vanilla client can't handle vehicles or group transport. They're like baked into the client, basically. So, yes, I do have plans for like wagon mounts, and I do have a way to implement them in vanilla, the same plan for sailing, where basically somebody can click on it and they will, their camera attaches to the mount, and it's kind of like they're riding around. You know, they're basically, their body goes invisible, their camera attaches to the mount, and then when they dismount, quote unquote, they just get teleported to that location. So it's functionally the same as a vehicle. It looks the same, it feels the same as riding as a passenger, but uses like a unique vanilla style system.
How does a tauren hide in a cherry tree? He paints his hoof. A duck walked into an apothecary and he said, "Give me some chapstick and put it on my bill." Whoop, whoop! Chug, 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 whoop, whoop! On your guard!
Thanks a lot.
So I have this idea for a great movie. It's about two gnomes who find a bracelet of power, and they have to take it to the burning steps and cast it into the cauldron. They form the Brotherhood of the Bracelet. Along the way, they're trailed by a Murloc named Gotham, who's obsessed with the bracelet, and 9 bracelet boogeymen. It could be a 3-parter called Ruler of the Bracelet. The first part would be called, followed by a couple of towers, with a climactic ending called, Hey, the King's Back.
Alright, everyone, it's time for the big one. One that I think everybody's been waiting for more than anything. Here it is, fellas. The most anticipated map, of course, Ulduar. This was so much work. I can't even begin to describe the insanity involved in making this work. I had to use so much voodoo magic. It's totally insane. Of course, Ulduar is vanilla accurate. This is the workshop of the Titans here, so do not expect to be getting in easily, and do not expect it to be very friendly, unless you are an Earthen, or a Mechanome, or a Titan Construct. Yeah, the Ignis and Razor Scale areas looking real good. Sapporo's work with fixing vanilla liquids and Wrath WMOs was absolutely vital for accurate effects. Things like these pools of water. Without them, obviously, the boss fight would be fundamentally different. I have water walking on still. Looking good. Looking real good. Yeah, I got some portaling issue. That's fine though. Have you ever seen someone run backwards through Ulduar? I don't think so. Yeah, Wrath Baby's seething. You can't do this. Neither can I, apparently. We can get up on a flat surface. Probably don't have tele set yet. It's the main area. I know I'm spoiling it for everyone. It's fine though. Jackie Chun asks, are those Wrath accurate fire effects? Yes, they are. Two weeks ago, I was standing here by myself. Feels good to have some friends, some good people here. This is so cool. I love this room. It's just so cool. The reflective effect that they use. It's not even really a reflective effect. It's actually the building is upside down underneath this. So and the floor is just transparent. So it's actually two buildings sandwiched on top of each other, one upside down. It's not actually a reflective floor. See that right here? Oh yeah, I don't have dueling flags set. You're going to be able to duel people on that floor. On the Celestial Planetarium, that's going to be a place where you can fight other players. Just imagine that. You're going to be able to duel on the Celestial Planetarium floor. Even better than dueling. I shouldn't even say it's dueling. You can duel people. You can just kill people. You can come in here and kill people for their items. Imagine that. Oh no. Yeah, I confirm that this is the Kolagarn body. It has collision right here from where he dies. There's actually a collision wall. Hey, Niyagaku. How are you doing? I like how everyone split up and went down a different branch to explore. Whoever goes down the gnomish one isn't going to be able to get far because there's no transport vehicle. Camouflage. Stealth paladin. Survival. I need more wood. love the Freya room. So nice. Very well designed. There's like 100,000 if you check those patches, the Wallcraft, the Wallpack, it contains 4 patches. The first 3 patches are backports, and the last patch is the Wallcraft patch. So you don't need the 4th patch to run on a stock vMango server just on Wallcraft. But those 3 patches, patch 3, 4, and 5, the backport patches, those are so heavily optimized to actually work. Originally it was 6 patches. I compacted it all down by basically backporting everything from TBC and Wrath of the Lich King without adding any backports from vanilla or overlaying any extra vanilla content duplicates. So those patches don't contain any vanilla content, strictly TBC and Wrath. And vanilla patch can only be up to 4 gigabytes in size, and it can only contain up to 32,768 files. So to compact all of the TBC and Wrath clients down, don't forget that the TBC and Wrath clients, they're standalone clients, so they contain all the vanilla assets mixed in. To basically separate all of the assets from the Wrath client and TBC client, and then reapply the TBC content on top of the Wrath content, and then apply that all on top of vanilla content, it's an insane task. It's why it's never been done before. You know, this is quite literally the first time anyone has ever ran through Ulduar in vanilla WoW with a 1.12 client. It's never happened before, at least to my knowledge. The formats for TBC and vanilla are very similar, so TBC content backports very easily into vanilla, but Wrath formats are a lot different. Not as radically different as later expansions compared to vanilla, but there's a lot of a difference, and enough significant difference to cause it to basically just not work. Primarily liquids, animations, sounds, like texture sizes, resolutions, fucking everything you can think of is a different format and had to be converted. Like, vanilla can only have texture squares that are 512 by 512 pixels, whereas Wrath can use terrain cube maps, and cube maps, which are basically 512 by 512 or 256 by 256 tiles, all on a single image, and the client just selects portions of it to apply textures, whereas vanilla can't do that. And the way that the... oh, this music's kind of loud. Ugh, 1 second. The way that the vanilla client or models themselves render the textures, they have the textures pre-assigned in UV maps. So the texture is basically asking for image outside of the bounds that's compatible for vanilla client, so those have to be redone. You basically have to rework a ton of models. In total, there's like 70 models that crash the client when backported, and those 3 patches, they're each like 2.5 gigabytes. I could load them up, but you don't want to surpass like 3.5 gigabytes, because when the patches are opened by the client, they expand in size. And if they pass 4 gigabytes, the patch will explode and completely break the patch to where it's unusable and has to be deleted. So ensuring that that doesn't happen, you want to stay... you preferably want to stay around or below 3 gigabytes. The 32,000 files, that's a pretty hard limit too. You go up to about 32,000, but you can go up to like 32,500. But anything after that, you risk the client expanding and exploding the patch. So those 3 patches, they're hyper-optimized to spread the data between all 3 evenly, and to ensure that all of the file contents are not super scattered. So each patch generally contains a specific set of assets or data. Like, the patch 3 contains all the sound, pretty much, except for ambient noises. Because ambient noises, there's only like 150 files compared to the 20,000, or there's like 5,000 sound files. Ambient noises are only 150 of those, but comprise like half of the size. Because the ambient sounds are, background music that extends for like 5 minutes, way bigger chunks of data than small sound effects. So the patches generally have the same conforming data structure. Some of it is split, so like you might have world assets split between patch 4 and patch 5. The expansion 1, 2, and 3 folders are, for example, in patch 5, whereas the rest of the world is generally in patch 4. Maps are contained in patch 5, because maps are the biggest asset, so you want to contain them all in one folder. But yeah, so like if you look at those patches, they all have like 32,000 files exactly, and they're all 2.5 gigabytes. It took days of optimizing the patches just so that it wouldn't be 5 or 6 patches, it would only be 3, the least amount of space possible, while not losing any data, having everything converted properly and everything present. So the only things that I think aren't present are Stormwind, the Wrath of the Lich King version of Stormwind. And obviously it's because it's vanilla, so you want the vanilla Stormwind. I could include it, I did have room for it, but it's not really necessary. I think that's the only thing that's really missing. I even have the dungeon maps, but because the vanilla client can't separate map transitions, if you're in a dungeon, the map can't like change based on the zone. So you just get stuck with like one map, which is fine. Overworld maps, all of the point of interest, those all exist. All the textures, skyboxes, backgrounds, particles, everything. And none of it's really compatible with vanilla. So when converting this, for example, WMOs, the building, Ulduar itself, the Wrath of the Lich King WMOs have a wildly different structure. Sephora wrote a really good script. I'll pull it up right now. Sephora wrote this wild script that can take all the data from Wrath and convert it. I added a bunch of stuff to the script too, but this is 98% his that he wrote for me. This script will parse the WMO templates and then adjust all of the colors, the light maps, the exterior groups, the flagging for liquids, mount flagging. Like this script and Sephora's work, absolute treasure. Without him, I would have had to have done this all by hand. This script basically can go through. I open up the root group for the asset, so I don't even need to open up all the files. I just open up the root file and then run this script, and it will automatically convert Wrath buildings into vanilla buildings. He added all this stuff. I did some work on MODD flags and MOPI flags. This chunk will fix MOPIs, and just basically the way that the camera works on the interiors. And doodad references. I have a check written in here now because there's a lot of Blizzard assets that have bad data, unfortunately. Not from conversion, just bad data originally that the Wrath client simply ignores, but the vanilla client doesn't have those functions to ignore. So I want to go back to the gnome area real quick because they couldn't get over there. I don't want to leave them just sitting around hanging. Go to the gnome area. Can we run the rail? Yeah, we can run on the rail, actually. I'll port them all here. Brutality asks, by the way, didn't you say you backported it from Wrath Alpha client? So how is Ulduar there? I came in patch 3.1. Was the map still there even in Alpha? No, I actually used the full retail client. I used a mixture of vanilla, TBC, final TBC version, Wrath Alpha, and full Wrath 3.3.5. Basically, the order is vanilla always rests on top, so vanilla is always present, which means in some places, like was noticed in Caverns of Time for Strathholm, some of the tables had chairs that were slightly smaller than they should be. That's because those chairs are vanilla chairs, so they don't get modified. Fortunately, most of the assets are totally fine to use in vanilla state. But then TBC content comes next in the layer, so all TBC content is TBC content. Aside from a few exceptions with models that, for some reason, didn't work for TBC backports, but the Wrath version did. As for Wrath Alpha, the maps, all of the maps, all of the textures, all of the assets are taken from the 3.3.5 retail Wrath client. Well, not retail, but you know, the full Wrath client. And then I went through and I took a lot of assets from the Alpha Wrath client, because WMOs, they changed in Wrath of the Lich King. The Alpha Wrath of the Lich King client was made halfway through TBC, and it shares almost the exact same structure as Vanilla client, or TBC client even. In fact, TBC client, the normal, you know, final patch TBC client, is a later version of the client than the Wrath Alpha client even is. So, like, terrain flags for WMOs, for doodad flags, MODD chunks in TBC WMOs can sometimes be fucked up because they have an extra flag in the first byte, whereas the vanilla client can't parse it, so it fucks up the chunk and it'll crash the client. The Wrath Alpha client doesn't suffer this problem because it was closer to vanilla. The Wrath Alpha client is closer in format to vanilla than any other client, which is kind of funny. Maybe TBC Alpha client or Beta client might be closer, but anyways, so the Wrath Alpha M2s are much more compatible across the board, and like half of the M2s exist in the Wrath Alpha, probably less than half, maybe like 25 to 30% even. But it's a huge boon because that means that instead of having 400 fucked up assets, I only had 70 that I had to find and fix. The problem with the reason why this really all took so long, nothing works in terms of tooling. It's all designed for Wrath, so basically the tools are non-existent. A lot of the tools, like the script that Sephora wrote, this had to be made for this project, essentially, or it can be used elsewise, but it was made to support this task here. Add Spartan, fix Naga, so we can finally backport. Naga can finally export deep sea tiles without breaking the ADT structure. I did have to update VMap extractor to include some new things for that, just because the water depth goes further down than VMap extractor expects for default vanilla with the deep sea tile patch. Yeah, they all got stuck. But the big problem with doing all of this isn't just like it's so much data to work with all at once, and it's basically alchemy. You have to combine everything in a very specific order multiple times over. For example, while working on the DBCs earlier, doing the DBC conversions, a lot of the times I would have like a spell visual DBC. It's 20,000 entries for vanilla and 35,000 for wrath. So I want to take the wrath data without overriding the vanilla data, because obviously this is a vanilla project. If it was the other way around, I would be using the wrath client. So I want to preserve the vanilla data. I also have custom changes though that I need to preserve. So what I need to do when I convert that table, or any table like that, I need to take my custom ranges, which I made sure years ago to put in extreme ranges outside of vanilla, which most of them luckily were higher ID ranges than even wrath, so they don't even need to be touched, but in cases where I do, I convert them in chunks because they're all grouped. Everything besides spell template, basically. So I'll convert the vanilla, or I'll convert the Wallcraft custom stuff to a higher range, and then I'll take the Wrath of the Lich King DBC and I'll layer it over the vanilla without overriding any entries, so then all the vanilla data is preserved and the Wrath of the Lich King data is then added onto it, and then I'll relayer it using a vanilla DBC structure so that the ordering is correct. I basically copy all the table information and then drop the table and rebuild it. And that's just for one DBC. For like an asset, for like an M2, or even for maps in particular, a lot of the stuff I have to take the data from multiple patches multiple times and convert it and then layer it in specific orders on top of each other, just to make sure that the data is written correctly without overriding it. Because then you have problems in the vanilla world. If I were to teleport to Blackrock Depths without using like 7 layers of Blackrock Depths, the whole instance would be all fucked up, because the geometry like slightly changes and fucks up all the WMO groups and stuff. Oh, I forgot chimes. Oh no. That's fine, we're going on to the next area. We've just been kind of running around. But yeah, getting back to this, I don't want to keep rambling on it, but the biggest challenge, obviously, is M2s. All these models that aren't, building, a lot of them, when you convert them from Wrath, there's like, in total for M2s, there's probably like 40,000 M2s in total in the client right now, and, like half of them are from not vanilla. Well, when you convert them and you build these map structures, you basically port all the map data. 1 or 2 of the M2s might have something that crashes the client, and you don't know what it is. So if you watch some of my streams or some of my videos, you'll basically see me running around, floating around like this, where I'm staring at the ground, slowly strafing left and right to get my client to crash, because I'll have like narrowed down where I'm crashing at, and then I need to basically strafe to figure out where the client is trying to render something where it's causing it to crash. Then I have to look at that map in a map editor, if possible, and find out all the objects. Most of the time I'm going into 010. I'll kind of show the process here. Yeah, these are all the fucked up assets. In fact, this is a list of them. These all have sound emitters that vanilla can't process, and it took me weeks to even figure out why it's crashing. Oh, crap. Okay, I didn't want to run that. I'll ignore. Yeah, wrong one. Fucking brick the asset. Whatever. Yeah, so you can see that it has event indexes here that I had to remove. It's 13 events. They're all sound events and shit for this cuckoo clock. Yeah, so what I do for that is I just zero them out, basically. Luckily for this cuckoo clock, instead of having to go through and correct this asset or figuring out what the issue is, it existed in the Wrath Alpha client. And since the Wrath Alpha client is almost 1-for-1 vanilla data structure, anything in the Wrath Alpha client can be converted flawlessly to vanilla. Almost 1-for-1. Works better than TBC. So the cuckoo clock existed in the Wrath Alpha, and I used the asset from there. It's difficult, though, because the Wrath Alpha client, a lot of the stuff is unfinished. So you're going around and you're trying to find out, you know, which assets are broken. I could port a Wrath Alpha asset, but it might not be finished. It might be untextured. It might not have animations, or it just might be totally different looking. If you look at Dalaran in the Wrath Alpha client, it looks like Stormwind with purple roofs. Honestly, it looked cooler. So there's a lot of stuff that can't be used from Wrath Alpha. Originally, I was just going to use the Wrath Alpha client, and it would have saved me like a month of work. Probably would have saved me 1,000 hours of work. But a lot of the map is just incomplete and untextured, and it looks shoddy. Like, it would be cool as a developer thing, like a amusement thing where players can go there and explore, but it's not usable when big chunks of the terrain are just green squares. And I could fix all of that by hand, but then that's just as much work for something that's not, like, really going to be all the same caliber of just using the finished Wrath version. So obviously you want the best version, but then you go to use Wrath Alpha version and nothing works. Which again is like any custom vanilla project with backported stuff, they backport selectively. You know, there's no... I would say a good example would probably be Turtle WoW. Turtle WoW is the most prominent example, and they've done good work at backporting stuff, but look at their amount of stuff that's been backported. Probably like 100 or 200 models or assets backported into their client. I can guarantee you that they didn't go through every asset looking for ones that could be backported. They went with ones that were desirable and then spent a lot of time backporting them because nothing works out of the box. So it's a struggle to even get one thing working right, let alone 100,000, which is literally 100,000 here. We can go through the patches too. In fact, let me just close out my client real quick. These right here are all of these folders. This is like friggin' half a terabyte of data on this desktop right now, and it gets deleted every night and remade every day because it's just, you're constantly extracting an insane amount of data. My server right now probably has, I can't even imagine how much data. It don't even want to load the directory. Yeah, I can do a check. No, it's not even gonna load. But yeah, like this is the patch array right now. These are the folders that I construct MPQs from. So this is probably going to be about 4 gigabytes, maybe 5. Yeah, even more. Okay, so that's actually nuts. There's no way that's right. Is that? I don't know how that works. How's that got so many files? It shouldn't have that many. Okay, there we go. So yeah, patch 3, it's almost, 2.8 gigabytes, 32,000 files. Patch 4, 3 gigabytes, 31,000 files. Patch 5. Yeah, 5.5 gigabytes, 31,000 files, but this is the map folder. This contains all the maps, and maps can compact very nicely. They compress very well. So if you look, the size of the patch for maps is it's slightly larger than patch 3 with all the sounds. But yeah, we can explore inside all the patch data, all the sounds, textures. The patch 3 only contains sounds besides ambient sound and mini-maps and baked NPC textures. Mini-maps and baked NPC textures alone, this doesn't count vanilla. Like I said, I made sure to synthesize these patches in a very specific way where no vanilla data is used, because your vanilla base client contains all of that, and I wanted to load from the base patches and use unmodified vanilla data. So this is just TBC and Wrath of the Lich King mini-maps and NPC baked textures, which is just like humanoid player character races, like a human or a night elf NPC, they use baked textures. That's why they have so many variations on what they wear and what they look like, compared to like a Quillbore or something like that. These NPC textures and minimaps are about 25,000 files. I think sound is only about 5,000, not even. Yeah, we can actually check that right here. A Light Warden, finally home. How did it go today, Wall? Oh, it went very well. We're still doing touring. Probably going to do it for another 40 minutes. We got a few more maps to knock out. I wanted to show more stuff, but I got to rescue everybody from Strand of the Ancients. They're all stuck here. Been here for 10 minutes. We got a few more people, I think, as well. They're going to be logging in. Okay, still got a few more people on the tour here. I'm gonna let them explore a little bit. So yeah, seeing my databases, these are all the Wrath of the Lich King and Vanilla DBCs that correspond. There's a few that exist only in Vanilla, and a few that don't exist in Vanilla but exist in Wrath, so obviously those don't get incorporated here, but anything that exists in both gets pulled into this, and then I redo all of the data sets. This is one that I'm actually working on right now. I gotta figure out what the deal is with terrain sounds. Terrain sound lookups for terrain, where is it? The footprint sound lookups should have, or terrain sound lookups, it would be. Should have 10 enumerations, so I gotta figure out basically how to convert this list for the sounds, because this is causing client crash right now. Terrain sound should only go... no, shit, I did modify this already. So I might just need to take this down to 9. I don't know. I gotta figure that out. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things. Like game object display info, you can see the rows generally matched. It's actually got more in Vanilla because of Wallcraft custom stuff, so 26 custom game object displays for Wallcraft. And then 3,800 for Vanilla and Wrath, basically. Some tables don't get touched, like game tips. You know, you keep them Vanilla. There's just so much data, though. There's so much to go through. The conversions for the spell DBCs as well, they're such a pain in the ass. There's 173 fields for Vanilla and 224 for Wrath, so trying to convert spells is just going to be months of work. That'll probably be done on a very case-by-case basis until I get core systems working for most stuff. And then I can kind of like go through and disable spells that have incorrect data. Battalion, you said there's no real easy way to do that in the core, but I think there is just by simply using the IDs. Since they'll be within a Wrath ID range, I can run like a preliminary function check on the spell. That won't be a long-term solution, just a short-term thing, so I can import, you know, half of the spells in a working state and the other half don't crash the server. They'll just not work. These two are AFK. We still got a ton of maps to explore as well. Maps. There we go. where we are. Oh no, yeah, they can't get summoned here. There we go. Icecrown Citadel, boys. Absolutely beautiful. Icecrown Citadel, well, in Vanilla, in this time period, Vanilla takes place like 20 years before the events of Wrath of the Lich King. So in this time period, in Vanilla, the Lich King is still frozen to the Frozen Throne. He has not emerged from his slumbering. So Icecrown Citadel likely will not be accessible outside of players who are Death Knights or Scourge, players who have died on Northrend and become Scourge, and this will essentially act as their capital city. For instance, when you get the Phylactery of Kel'Thuzad and you return into the Lich King, you actually go up to the Frozen Throne where he's sitting, and you give him the Phylactery for Kel'Thuzad, and then he imbues you with, basically imbues you with Death Knight power. He'll kill you and raise you as a Death Knight at that point. This was the right one. He joins up and says immediately, "A little bright, isn't it?" Yeah, the dude, that's not changing. That's not changing. Go back in time and yell at Blizzard for that. That's default particle. So I don't know if Wrath renders them slightly less luminous, but it's a miracle that it works. That's about all that is. Of course, so we have to do a little bit of flying. I'm staring at the floor typing. Should be looking around at the cool shit. We're on the frozen throne. I don't know if I can port people here though. If I do it up here. No, they're probably still going to be falling. This is just a temp ad. I need to add a boat. Actually, a boat won't even work. Can't use that here. Oh. I don't even know if I can actually get them up here. Yeah, whatever. Can't get them up here. I can't port them because the server's just checking Z distance down there. I haven't done M maps yet. Oh well. Shall be. On to the next one. Crap, I never added a telly for this. Good. Just swore I had a telly. Yeah, them banners have particle effects. I don't know what the deal is with them. I'm either missing a texture or something. I haven't looked into that yet, though. I'll have to figure that one out. Jackie Chun says, any plans to progress beyond ICC, Cata Dungeons, Pandaria? No. I plan on doing Undermine, which the original developer picture, obviously, you could see that. Pull that up. The original picture, Kalimdor, Eastern Kingdom is known as Azeroth, and you had Maelstrom in the middle, you had Northrend, and then you had Undermine. Pandaria would have been like right here, would have been the Wandering Isle. So, will I backport mop content into vanilla? No, I have no plans on doing that, but I would like the Wandering Isles to be a location in the game, because they are part of the lore. That image, though, that you saw was like basically the 5 continent maps, and then you have the uncharted seas on the other side that comprise the cube world. Do we have any more maps? We have Isle of Conquest. I can't remember... Oh yeah, I don't have the Wallcraft Northrend edit. I have an edited version with Isle of Conquest actually on the open world map, and I'm going to put Strand of the Ancients on the open world map as well for Wallcraft. I fixed these, and then I broke them again, which is something that happens a lot when you're doing this shit, is you'll fix 30,000 things, but you'll break 10 things. I fixed these with their texture rendering, but then I replaced textures because I've rebuilt these. I have rebuilt this patch array 40 times now at this point, and every time it's just gotten slightly better and slightly better. So it's like it's a refinement process. It's, you know, it's like a... Basically, I have to synthesize these patches out of all this material. Fish aren't biting. Yeah. I haven't done fishing templates at the moment. It's gonna be something to worry about tomorrow. I've been working for, I don't even know how long. I've probably worked 40 hours in the past 2 days. What world map locations? Oh yeah, Silvermoon. Let's go head up Silvermoon. As you can see, obviously Silvermoon is on the Outland map, even though it's represented in-game on Eastern Kingdoms. In Wallcraft, I'm going to take the entire area. It doesn't line up correctly, which is the issue, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to take it and I'm going to actually add it to the Eastern Kingdoms, instead of just being floating void part of Outland.
Great!
Alright, smoke break for me. Put game on follow. Bloodline asks, hey Wall, is the shelter buff shared between party members, or is it just personal to the character? Currently it's only personal to the character. I might make them shared. I haven't finished survival yet. What you get with survival right now is extremely bare bones. I basically, whatever's in survival right now was added in like a 3-day weekend where I was just, implementing stuff, so it's not finished yet. The systems are, the frameworks are there. I wanted to get the skill implemented and all the templates added for it. I have to fill it out a lot more. That'll come during the beta though. Survival is... What issue? See, that's what I hate, is that we're playtesting and people are going to be coy. If there's an issue, just please tell me. Send a screenshot. Don't make me ask and dig the answer out of you. If there's an issue, let's get it reported. I don't know if you're listening to the stream, but I don't want to watch you waving back and forth. Just type out the issue, please. I'm not seeing it. I literally can't see it. Just please type out what I'm looking at. You can't say, oopsie, smiley face issue, and then ask me to come over here and have to do this, please. I want to wrap up the tour, and if there's an issue, just send a screenshot. If it's a portal or culling issue, send a screenshot with the precise location so I know. But, yeah, just take a screenshot of where you're seeing it, so I know, and I can fix it later. Unless your client's crashing right now, I just simply don't have time to look at every floating bush. And these are Blizzard issues, anyways. So if there's, it's probably the mopey chunks that I'm gonna have to rerun scripts on for Silvermoon. They've probably got bad doodads as well. I don't know. I'm gonna have to rerun this asset. If there's a portal issue, though, just let me know that the camera's clipping through the terrain and send a picture. Because there's definitely a lot of them. Let's see. Any ideas for the Maelstrom? That featured in Kata, as far as I remember. Oh, let me read some of the YouTube chat here. Light Warden says, about to go to bed, but thanks for streaming this. I'll probably watch the VOD back like 15 times like all the other lives you do. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. The dev server will be up, so if at any point you just want to log on and check things out. I don't have tele guys assigned yet, so getting around to these places is pretty tough, if not impossible, but if you have GM power, if not, I'm going to add tele guys soon, so when I do a full release. Bloodline says, hey, Wall... Oh, yeah, I already read that. Peter K says, will TBC Wrath raid sets exist? Tuned to vanilla, of course. Yes, the item display IDs and the general items. So I won't say all of them, but yeah, a lot of them will. And they'll be used as, like, Tier 5, Tier 6 sets will be used. And appropriately statted for vanilla. Bug reports are difficult. I hate doing bug testing. I hate doing beta testing. Basically, my mentality going into this is I just worked 1,500 hours and I have another 500 hours of work left to do. So unless your client is melting or crashing and you're just like, you can't actually, you know, if your client's crashing, that's like really the biggest concern right now. If a bush is floating or your camera's clipping out when you're running past a fence, take a screenshot so I remember it, but it's like such low priority right now. I want to make sure that, number one, no client crashes. As long as there's no client crashes, I'm generally happy. Two, for WMOs, it sucks if they don't work perfectly, but there's such a hassle in converting them properly that I can't guarantee you that everything will work correctly. But as long as it's not crashing. Yeah, I hate doing bug testing because it's always a billion DMs to answer, and it's always, I don't know. For me, it's like I know what's wrong. I know what has to be fixed. When a player sees something, they see an issue and they think, oh, I'll report this and then they can fix it. When I see an issue, I just think, oh, cool, I'll add that to the list and then I can get to it in 6 months after all the other things that I have to do. So it's just, it's never fun. Bug testing is never fun. You want everything to work correctly, like, right away, and not have to bug test. So when I do bug testing days like this, it's just always stressful, because I just have lists of more shit to work on. The best way you can report anything, screenshot through and through. If I have to go to a location and check it out myself, that's fine, but send a screenshot if you can. That way I at least have it like organized and categorized for future reference. I'll probably redo this model with the new Mopey scripts that I wrote, but I can't even remember if it had bad chunks or bad data. A big problem is if you're looking at my stream right now, this is what the WMO actually looks like. It's like these things are made in such a stupid way. And it's smart to do it like this because, you know, you're working back in 2005, 2006, and you want it to all render smoothly on these dinosaur computers, but in 2023 you look at this and you're like, somebody was smoking crack to think that this was a good idea. It's like, you can see where like the WMO groups get rendered in cold around every turn and every corner. So yeah, you'll probably have like a few fences. If we go outside Utgard and you move your camera into any of the crates, all the objects disappear inside the asset. I haven't figured that one out yet. Just everything's so friggin' wacky. Bloodline says, what server type do you have in mind for Wallcraft? Wallcraft is a PvP-oriented server. It's a PvP-oriented Eternal Sandbox vanilla. If you've ever played RuneScape, it's a lot more like RuneScape than World of Warcraft. But obviously it's World of Warcraft and not RuneScape. If that makes any sense. Progression is not linear. It's a sandbox. You could literally log in and within 5 minutes you might stumble upon the corpse of somebody who died in full max gear and you might loot it. And then when you reach level 60 you just equip it. And then you go out in the world and you die to somebody else and then that gear is gone and they take it. So it's like, progression is not linear. In terms of item acquisition and upgrading power, it's more so about building up an array. Your guild bank or your personal account-wide stash essentially is going to be more important than a single character. You know, it's not about getting a set of Nax gear, it's about getting 10 sets of Nax gear, 100 sets of Nax gear. You know, enough armor to deck out an army. That's more so like a focus than going into the raid and getting a single drop in your name. So yeah, progression is not linear, and it's often lateral across tiers. So like, endgame vanilla content is about equal to most of the TBC content. Some of the endgame TBC Outlands content is going to be outgearing Vanilla, obviously. Wrath or Northrend content is, you know, on par with some TBC and even some Vanilla content. It's a lot more lateral. In terms of gear progression, obviously, like Kara's. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Whew. All right. Sorry, freaked out a little bit. I just felt something. What I thought was crawling on my leg. It was a cigarette wrapper. Oh. Freaked me out a bit. But yeah, it's a sandbox vanilla world where you might construct a ship on the shores of Tanarus and sail that ship out into the void of the Maelstrom and get stuck in the Maelstrom for 4 months. And that's your life now. Yeah, I'm worried about spiders because they do have, well, it's mostly wolf spiders, but we do have poisonous spiders around here. There's a lot of palmetto bugs, though, which are basically like flying cockroaches. And they're fucking everywhere. So yeah, I've had a few moments where you look down and you see one on you. That's never pleasant. They don't bother me that much, but they're just fucking annoying. Gross. Blue Dragon just sent me some nice video footage, and yeah, see, like, this is perfect. Send bug reports like this. A video clip, 5-second YouTube clip showing the issue. Yeah, so that's a mopey chunk issue. You can actually see probably where the issue is. I would need to actually look up the subgroup for this. WMO. Can't remember where this would actually be located. Probably Outland. Yeah, but the way he sent it, 5-second video clip and a screenshot of the minimap, absolutely perfect. It lets me immediately find it. Lordaeron. Ah, okay, Silver Moon is in Lordaeron. I love that the vanilla and older clients, obviously, have data alluding to original design development ideas, but holy shit, does it make it impossible to find sometimes. I would never have guessed to look into Lordaeron folder for Silver Moon, but I guess that's correct lore-wise. I don't know. I would probably need to rerun all these groups. On second thought, before I run the good one, let's not do that. Let's not run the good asset. Let's go with a different one. And I'm afraid it's starting. The Miracle Sapporo script. Alright, so we have no bad doodads. We just have mopey chunk that are probably fucked. And I'll need to find a subgroup. Hopefully this correction, though, does the job. This was a TBC asset that I had taken. Oh, bro, you are not bothering me at all. Just as long as, like I said, and again, it's not you. I've had so many people DMing me with stuff today, and as long as the stuff is, as long as the data is usable, like as long as bug reports are usable. Oftentimes, though, people send me data or bug reports, and it's just not. Like, I have to go on, like, a treasure hunt to find out what the hell they're talking about, even. So, yeah, perfect format, though. Yeah, mini-map on that lets me know right where it is. I'm able to fix it right away. Hopefully. We'll find out. It's not the right path. I already know that. Building Silvermoon. Oh, okay. Alright, let's give her a test. I need to rip the stupid headphones. Like the headphone cup on ear part snapped right off. There we go. Should I type right? Yeah, the one headphone cup snapped right off. Wearing it around my neck. Alright, let's take a look. Mini-map. Oh, crap. Oh no, that's his map icon. It's different. Look, I'm like, I don't even see a mini-map icon. No, his is just slightly different. Over here. Oh, is it over here? No. Let's go on a dead scar. It's like right here. I actually don't even know where he was. Shit. Check the video. Oh, yeah, right here. Ah. Yeah, that was the same issue with Utgard. Okay, now I'm seeing it. Yeah, that happens. When... Still trying to figure that one out. When you move your camera over M2s, and it's not every M2, it's only some of them, it'll kick on the occlusion and culling and stop rendering all of the other M2s. I think it's because these doodads are technically have exterior flags. I don't know. I haven't even figured that issue out. That's going to be something I'll have to figure out in the future. The inner sanctum. I used to love ganking here. I would stand up on this little balcony and just freaking gank random people all day. This was like my favorite spot to gank way back in the day. Because this city, when it first came out, was really popular. People liked how it looked and the layout. Even though the layout is, like, kind of crap compared to, like, Ironforge. In terms of practicality. Alright, let's take a look here at YouTube chat. So there'll be overlap in zone levels between the other continents. The Outland and Northrend are level 60 content. Basically, like, the game loop of Wallcraft is reach level 60 and then do whatever you want. Build up an empire, set up a trade cartel, go raid Ulduar. Tons of choices. There's really no linear end game. It's not just, okay, do this dungeon, then this dungeon, then this one. It's a lot more freedom of choice at the end game, but the end game is level 60, and most of the new content is focused on level 60. Frankly, I mean, I would add more content, like dungeons and stuff, to lower level tiers, but there's just no point, because then you out-level it and you never do it again. If I added at level 60, it basically always stays relevant. There'll probably be, at some point, some lower level content that's pre-60, but most of the focus is on level 60 content. There's enough content to get you to 60. There's no shortage of content. I mean, yeah, it's definitely cool that you notice something, but I'd like to impress upon people. You will absolutely find bugs. It's definitely not you know, crawling around with a magnifying glass trying to sniff them out. You walk 5 feet in any direction, you're gonna find something fucked up. It's just a matter of getting things fixed as quickly as I can. It's not a matter of really finding anything. The same issue is present on Utgard. See, the problem is, once I find the solution, it means I basically need to redo everything over. I have to take all the WMOs out and then rerun them, and that's a 4-hour process. And it's not double-click and then 4 hours it runs. It's 4 hours of opening files and running scripts and making sure that they run correctly on each individual one. It's such a pain in the balls. So I try and get everything batched out in time. Definitely glad that people are helping test the content, though. Like I said, biggest thing right now is crashes. If something's fucked up, send me information so I'll have it on record, but any crashes are priority. We've already found 2. One in Black Temple and one that's persistent in Northrend. I think it's a Skybox related issue. I'm not really certain though. I'm gonna have to hunt down. This is a cool balcony. What the hell? What is this? Can you teleport here? Normally? Yeah, there is some reflective textures. That's fine though. Yeah, I don't think you can normally get here. It's a cool little terrace here. It would make a cool ass house, I'll tell you that. Yeah, let's go back to Northrend. Do some more Northrend exploration. Didn't spend enough time there. Ah, yeah, look at that. Classic. Oh yeah, we can go to Exodar as well. Should go Exodar next. I'm gonna go smoke a cig real quick. Oh yeah, this is the submarine I was talking about. I'm adding this in-game. Well, it already exists, obviously. It's sitting right here in front of us, but... you will be able to pilot this thing deep underwater. You will be able to climb inside of this bastard and sail it around 20 leagues under the sea. I'm gonna read some chat. Let's see. Miyagaku, loot on death is dearly missed. RuneScape, Tibia, and so on had an actual thrill of killing people and a comradeship in guilds, clans with intense battles that mattered. Absolutely 100% true. That's what I aim to rekindle. Is that struggle of you versus the world, you with your friends. You know, fortunes won and lost. Something that never existed in WoW, really. EverQuest and RuneScape vibes fill in the gaps where WoW was too simplified casual. Absolutely. It was popular because the Horde had nothing beautiful to look at. Horde only had mud huts, crude tents, and a zombie sewer. Who wants an Undercity house? Chimes has an Undercity house. Go to Chimes' house. And Chimes has Chimes has a house outside of Undercity. Take a look at his little villa. Oh yeah, now that I have a working nugget as well, I could probably go back through and redo that tile. Or I can add more trees to this strip. I basically had to set a tree line here. This is Chimes' house outside of Undercity. The interiors on some custom objects are probably all fucked up right now. Gamer's house has a giant pile of bones in it. Gamer's house has a giant pile of bones. Lumen asks in Discord, backporting all the maps is one thing, but what about content? Mobs, quests, etc.? Well, you'll have the creature models, display IDs, you'll have all the framework for stuff, but I have no interest in just backporting Wrath content into vanilla, like quests and shit. So that would make sense. Wallcraft takes place in vanilla era, like most of that stuff doesn't even exist yet. Yeah, somebody asked, do you plan on backporting quests? No, because quests aren't part of the client assets. Those are part of the Wrath of the Lich King game. My goal is to get all of the TBC and Wrath assets working in vanilla, so you can use them however you want. Vanilla's, or Wallcraft is a vanilla game, so it takes place during the vanilla time period. Obviously, the continent of Northrend exists during that time. This is the right one. No, it's Grizzly Hills. That's Scarlet Place. Yeah, Onslaught Harbor. Boys over here. I can't remember if I generated move maps for Northrend. I must have, because how else is he friggin' blinking around? Peter Koss asks, Wall, do you have any plans for Lordaeron? Wabaf asks, I guess the Constabulary and Red Ridge has their hands too full with the Blackrock Orcs to go and question the owner of the house with the giant pile of bones. Yeah, 100% true. That Nola invasion is taking up a lot of their attention right now. You don't seem to be asking questions about the pile of bones or orc crates on the roof. Peter Koss asks, do you have any plans for Lordaeron? Undercity is Undercity. As to what happens to that, that's for the players to decide. If humans want to try and reclaim Lordaeron, they can reclaim the kingdom. One thing to note, though, is that faction capitals are pretty rigid in terms of not being able to be changed. You won't be able to permanently destroy a faction capital because that just creates too many problems in-game. But the Kingdom of Lordaeron, that's a different story. If you wanted to try and reclaim some territory there, you can absolutely do that. You know, get your guild together and set an objective, and you probably take back, you know, one of the places by Lake Fenris or something, some place in Plaguelands. You can even start cleansing some of the taint in Plaguelands. That's all for the players to decide, though. Yarr. Something I'm working on. The Scarlet Ogre. Sephora sent me a picture of Ogre wearing this scarlet chapeau, and he's got like cross eyes. Or he's cross-eyed. Looks too goofy. Jotunheim. What? Yeah, what was this place? It's Jotunheim, but it's not a dungeon. I haven't played Wrath in so long, I can't even remember what this place is. It's like a dungeon or something. Yeah, nothing super interesting in here. Jotunheim's cool. But yeah. No, it's just, yeah, just a questing area. I couldn't remember if there was a dungeon there or something. It looks like there should be. Kinda lame that there ain't. Okay, I'm gonna drop you fellas off into Sholazar, and I'm gonna call the stream. I gotta eat something. I'm freaking starving, so I've been doing this for like 5 hours now. That's a good spot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like how this looks. Looks real slick. I remember this place had all the Valkyr and shit. And Vrykul. Whatever. GG's. Alright, I'm gonna call it for now. Thank you for tuning into the stream. I'll answer a few of the questions here. Sorry if I've been a little bit cranky or on edge. I've just been working my ass off here. I do feel bad. A lot of people had a lot of questions that they wanted to ask me today, and I just didn't have time to, and I kind of told them, you know, I'm not answering questions today, so hope it didn't seem a little cold or off-putting. Just really busy. So, I'll be happy to answer more in the Discord. Just post them there, and I'll definitely answer them, you know, as I see them. Either way, though, I'm going to go through the YouTube chat and wrap up a few last questions here. Alexis Urbanea says, hey, Wall, do you plan to spawn all this areas or just the dungeons? These lands are vanilla era, so they're going to be filled with vanilla time period stuff. A lot of the buildings and stuff are going to be removed. You're not going to have, like, Alliance or Horde expeditionary forces or anything like that. You'll have Tuskar, you'll have Vrykul, you'll have, you know, a Scourge and all sorts of creatures in these lands. In the Outlands, you'll have Fel Orcs and stuff like that, but it's vanilla time period, so it's not going to just be a Wrath clone. And you certainly won't be doing a lot of quests that are from Wrath or anything like that. Blizzard's gonna launch Season of Copium when Wallcraft launches. Peter Koss says, cooler as Undead, rebuild the upper part as the feat of strength. Yeah, something like that. If you wanted to expand Undercity as a Forsaken, you definitely can. There's definitely unlimited options for players to choose from. That would be something that the Forsaken would have to undertake, though. So you definitely need a lot of people for that. Alright, seems like we're all wrapped up here. Thank you everyone for showing up, tuning in, checking out the content. It should be released to the public by the end of the year before the beta. I'll have an official promo trailer for the beta this coming week. The beta launches on the 28th at noon Eastern Time. That's an approximate time and date. More announcements will be cemented when the trailer drops. But for now, that's generally the idea. The 28th around noon. Again, please remember, it's a year-long beta, full 1 through 60 progression. All characters get reset at the beginning and afterwards. Death Trial characters will get transferred over into the beta after the first month. The beta will launch with level caps for the first month, so 20, 30, 30, 40, 50, 60 each week for the first month. Just to ensure that there's no frenzy and people aren't falling behind. They can enjoy the game at their own pace. It should be a pretty good timeline there. And again, remember it's beta, so there's definitely going to be, you know, tons of stuff getting worked on. There might be a few issues initially as I'm still doing all this patchwork and I have to report all of my Wallcraft content. So any, you know, possible power outages or whatnot, because I'm still self-hosting. So, you know, it's a beta. Don't treat it like a full launch. Come enjoy it, be happy. It's going to last for a full year. So, full year of gameplay for you. But not all the systems are in place yet, just do be aware. War mode's not implemented, player housing is not fully implemented yet, so a lot of work still in the future for things. If you find any bugs or find any issues, as I stated earlier, screenshot video preferable, send it to me on Discord, let me know the exact location, especially client crashes. If you discover any client crashes, send me a screenshot with the error code. I need to know those things in order to fix them. Without them, there's no information otherwise. So, anywho, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing up and testing the content. Glad everybody enjoyed. And until next time, I'll see you soon with the full release.